Did you know the most famous description of the Chupacabra didn't come from a real encounter but from a science fiction movie? In 1995, Madeline Tolentino described a creature in Puerto Rico. Large, dark eyes, long limbs, spikes down its back. This image became the standard for the Chupacabra, spreading rapidly across Puerto Rico and beyond. Years later, Tolentino revealed she'd just watched the movie Species before her sighting. The alien in that film looked almost identical to her description. The Chupacabra's iconic look was likely inspired by Hollywood, not reality. The power of suggestion, fueled by a scary film, planted the seed for a global monster myth. Livestock deaths gave the fear a face, one borrowed from a movie. This doesn't mean animals weren't dying, but the monster itself was a fabrication. The Chupacabra legend shows how easily our minds blend fear, media, and myth. Sometimes, the scariest monsters are the ones we create ourselves. The Chupacabra legend began in Puerto Rico in the mid-1990s, when farmers found livestock dead with strange puncture wounds and seemingly drained of blood. The deaths were unlike typical predator attacks, no mess, just mystery. Panic spread as people wondered, was it disease, cults, or something unknown? Local media amplified the fear, and everyone searched for answers. The name Chupacabra, goat sucker, was coined by comedian Silverio Perez, perfectly capturing the terror. Suddenly, the unknown killer had an identity. The name spread rapidly, and the legend was born. With a name, the story took on a life of its own. The Chupacabra became the villain people needed to explain the unexplainable. It unified the community's fear and fascination. The legend grew, fueled by mystery and the need for answers. The Chupacabra was no longer just a rumor, it was a cultural phenomenon. Sometimes, a name is all it takes to turn fear into legend. And in Puerto Rico, the goat sucker became that legend. Early Chupacabra stories painted a terrifying picture. 3 to 4 feet tall, walking on 2 legs with spikes down its back. Its head was oval, mouth small but fanged, and its eyes, large, glowing, hypnotic, were the stuff of nightmares. The skin was gray-green, leathery or scaly like a reptilian alien. It didn't eat flesh, it left small puncture wounds and drained blood like a vampire. This method of attack was unlike any known predator. The Chupacabra seemed intelligent, malevolent, and otherworldly. It moved with speed and stealth, vanishing into the night. The fear wasn't just about dead animals, it was about a monster that broke the rules of nature. The Chupacabra became a symbol of the unknown lurking in the darkness. Its image, both monstrous and mysterious, fueled the legend's power. Sometimes, what we imagine is scarier than anything real. The legend exploded after Madeline Tolentino's 1995 sighting in Canovanas, Puerto Rico. She described a bipedal creature with alien eyes and spines down its back, lurking outside her window. Her vivid account gave the Chupacabra a face, and the media ran with it. Suddenly, people across the island reported similar sightings. The fear shifted from livestock to personal safety. News crews covered every new attack, amplifying the panic. The more the story spread, the more people believed, and the more sightings were reported. The Chupacabra became a media sensation, a monster for the nightly news. People armed themselves, afraid to go out at night. The legend felt real, and fear was contagious. Tolentino's sighting was the spark. The media fanned the flames. The Chupacabra became a living nightmare for Puerto Rico. Sometimes, a single story can ignite an entire island's imagination. The Chupacabra didn't stay in Puerto Rico, it went global. Reports of blood-drained livestock and strange creatures spread across Latin America and into the United States. In Texas, the legend changed. The Chupacabra became a hairless, canine-like beast. This new version looked more like a diseased dog than an alien. The internet supercharged the myth, spreading stories and photos worldwide. The Chupacabra became a pop culture icon, appearing in movies, TV, and games. Its name became shorthand for any mysterious livestock killer. The legend adapted to each new place, but the core fear remained. The Chupacabra's journey shows how a good monster story can cross borders and evolve. Fear and curiosity made the goatsucker a global phenomenon. As the legend grew, scientists and skeptics stepped in to investigate. They examined bloodless animal carcasses and found the blood had simply pooled internally after death. Puncture wounds were often from known predators, not monsters. Eyewitness accounts, especially in moments of fear, proved unreliable. People's memories were shaped by stories and media, not always by reality. Sometimes, a glimpse in the dark became a monster sighting. Scientists found most attacks were the work of wild dogs or coyotes. Their work grounded the legend in biology and psychology, not folklore. The Chupacabra mystery was less about monsters, more about how we perceive the unknown. Science became the real detective in this modern myth. The discovery of strange, hairless animal carcasses in Texas seemed like proof of the Chupacabra. But DNA tests revealed these were just coyotes, dogs, or hybrids, nothing supernatural. The culprit? Sarcoptic mange, a skin disease caused by mites. Mange makes animals lose hair, develop thick, wrinkled skin, and look monstrous. Sick and desperate, these animals attacked easy prey like livestock. Their bizarre appearance matched the Texas Chupacabra legend perfectly. The disease explained both their looks and their behavior. Science turned monsters back into ordinary animals. The bodies were proof, not of a new species, but of how easily we mistake the sick and strange for the supernatural. The legend persisted, but the evidence pointed to a much simpler truth. Sometimes the real explanation is hiding in plain sight. The Chupacabra's body was just a coyote in disguise. The monster was a myth, but the fear was real. Sarcoptic mange explains the Texas Chupacabra sick canines, desperate and hairless, attacking livestock. But what about Puerto Rico's spiky-backed monster? No body was ever found. The original description likely came from a movie, not reality. The real animal deaths were probably caused by feral dogs or other predators. Fear and suggestion did the rest, turning ordinary events into monster stories. Once the legend took hold, every shadow became a Chupacabra. The media amplified the panic, and sick animals seemed to confirm the myth. Each piece, real deaths, a vivid description, media hype, and mangy animals, fit together to create a powerful modern legend. The Chupacabra is less a creature, more a cultural phenomenon. It's a story built on fear, mistaken identity, and the human need for answers. When myth and reality blur, monsters are born. The Chupacabra is a case study in how legends grow. Sometimes the scariest thing is how easily we can be fooled. So, is the Chupacabra real? Science says no, at least not as a blood-sucking alien or new species. The evidence points to known animals and diseases, not monsters. The Puerto Rican Chupacabra was a product of imagination. The Texas version, a case of mistaken identity. But the legend lives on because we love a good mystery. The Chupacabra is our modern-day dragon, a symbol of the unknown. The real story is about how myths are born, spread, and evolve. Studying the Chupacabra teaches us about fear, memory, and the power of storytelling. Every new sighting keeps the legend alive. The truth may be out there, but so is our imagination. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe for more mysteries and legends.